Warning, the following communications are not authorized. Please disable your signals and report to your local re-education center immediately. Failure to comply will result in immediate reprimand and capital punishment.
We are here. We are COVID warning ready. Because, you know, Rebel News got demonetized recently. And I'm sure it's going to happen to me again for the second time. But, you know, here with Eric.
I can't hear you.
Opine, where can't hear me. Patriot J, can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
Okay, this is Eric's problem then.
Well, let's just do the show without Eric. You only need one colored person anyway.
Wow, unbelievable. He didn't like that, I don't think. Patriot J, you're at Sir Hottest on Instagram and Twitter. Hello to everybody in the chat. We will read your super chats on screen. How are you guys doing? Jay, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. You know, it's Wednesday, middle of the week.
They call it hump day. Eric?
Oh,
Can't hear anything? He's going to have to fix his audio. We can hear each other. He's just got to sit back and...
I heard Eric a minute ago backstage.
Let's see.
You mute him still?
Eric, how about now? No, this is weird.
Awkward.
Connection's fine. Eric, you should leave and come back. Leave and come back. No? I'll message him, I guess, is a smarter thing to do.
It's okay.
So what I want to talk about today, first off, was Joe Biden blaming the border crisis on Trump, on the previous administration, because we all know Trump was way softer on the border than Biden. So let's listen to what he said, because it's hilarious. Let's see if it works now. Eric, how about now?
Much better.
There we go. Okay. Okay, we're going to watch Joe Biden. Let's hear what he said.
And the reason why so many people were leaving, we learned, was that not only gang violence and trafficking cartels, but natural disasters, hurricanes, floods, earthquakes. And so it's not like someone sits around a hand union table somewhere in Guatemala and says, I got a great idea, let's sell everything we have, give the money to a coyote, have them take our kids or us to the border of America, take us across, leave us in the desert, we don't speak the language. Won't that be fun? One of the ways we learned is that if you deal with the problems in country, it benefits everyone. It benefits us, it benefits the people, it grows the economies there. Unfortunately, the last administration eliminated that funding, did not engage in it, did not use it, even though there was over $700 million to help get this done. We're reinstituting that program. And there are, as I said, there are many factors as to why people leave in the first place. But this is the source of one of the reasons why we've had such a, before we took office, in the midst of the last administration's somewhat draconian policies of separating children from their parents, etc. What happened was that we found that there were serious spike in the number of people heading to the southern border, even in the midst of that. And as Alejandro can tell you, is that was because there were serious natural disasters that occurred in those countries. They were coming north, and we did nothing to do much about it. So this new surge we're dealing with now started with the last administration, but it's our responsibility to deal with it humanely.
Jay, do you want to? So what we lost there was at the end was them ushering everybody out before they could ask any questions. So
yeah.
So do you want to start with the lies there? Or like, I think they should be obvious to just like any regular person.
Well, I just think it's funny how he says Trump's policies were draconian, and then in the next breath he says Donald Trump did nothing at the border, but it's ridiculous. Everybody knows that immigration was Donald Trump's chief policy.
Yeah, it's pretty insane, Eric. So it's like no thought given. Obviously, giving them money makes it better in their own country. as if that wasn't what they did for like 30 years before Trump. And then Trump said, if you don't stop people from coming into your country or coming to our country, we're going to cut off your funding. And he did. And it seemed to help. But now people are coming to the border because there isn't money in the country, even though they were doing that before when they were getting the money. Eric, help me make sense of this, please.
Well, none of it makes sense, right? I mean, you can even take it back to their, I mean, how long have we heard the racism, you know, they're beating that horse silly, but why do all these people want to come to a racist place? That's the first thing, right? That's the most obvious thing. And secondly, you know, blaming the previous administration is par for the course, right? I mean, I think as long as we've all probably been alive, the president has blamed the prior administration for a problem that they inherited. So it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. But another thing that's kind of weird here, and this is actually the first time I'm actually seeing that clip. I heard it. Of course, he's going to blame Trump for everything. But is that he's kind of, to me, trying to like weasel in even a little bit of like global warming stuff, talking about like natural disasters and stuff. It's like, dude, what are you talking about? It's obviously a mess. And it's like, dude, this is really a simulation. Like, that's the president now. It's crazy.
Well, first, there's no crisis at the border, and they're like, oh, we have to admit this now. So let's figure out a way to make it somebody else's fault. Now, it's pretty insane to me, Jay, that they've managed to turn this into something that isn't their fault. And they also said that Biden also said that Trump did the draconian measure of separating children from their parents. Again, they just act as if there's no other argument. First of all, he didn't start that. He actually stopped it, which I'm against him stopping, because
great point.
When random people come to the border, when there's in a place where there's tons of child trafficking and human trafficking, and a lot of the times it was something only like a third of the people were with their actual parents, or maybe it was 2/3 were their actual parents. Either way, it sums up to a lot of people, whether it's 1/3 or 2/3. And so you have to separate them so the kids can tell you the truth. If the kid's standing next to the person who smuggled them, they're not going to be completely honest. Yes, I'm enjoying this with my father. We're traversing across the desert. And the other thing is, when you committed the crime of illegally going across the border, you don't just get to take your kids with you. I can't go rob a store and then be like, how come my child, everything's a 13th century Englishman, how come my child isn't allowed to come to prison with me? This is an outrage and this is racism. Does anybody buy this, Jay? Do you think that like the common person is just like, they're right? There has to be these people, right? They're separating children. That's a barbaric.
Yeah, people really buy it. That's the big problem. People buy into the narrative that the media has given to them. And it's just crazy because these same people who were so outraged during the Trump administration are silent now. They're completely silent. You've got the same thing going on with Joe Biden. It's probably even worse. The pictures that I've seen of these kids in their little magnetic sleeping bags. But the media is not covering it. So the everyday person who was so outraged just completely gives it a pass.
Now,
yeah, and go ahead.
Well, I think every single time something like this happens, like every single time that the media is forced to cover something, I have hope, I have like faith that this is going to actually wake some people up, right? Like I think when Biden dropped the bomb on Syria, I was like, okay, well maybe this will wake up some, tribalists. And then we see the exact same pictures, if not worse, than we saw under Trump at this border, and you think, okay, well, you guys literally cried the whole slogan, kids in cages. They made, logos and graphics and signs and all sorts of stuff. And to watch it now, I have to imagine that the average person, even the average lefty, is not quite that stupid. And it's the media, that is the biggest part of the problem, because they will still project it onto us as though everybody believes it. But if you look, you could watch maybe say even like some of Elad's videos, and even the left doesn't trust the media. Of course, we're going to completely disagree on why the media is lying and what they're actually doing. But I'm hoping that this does wake some people up. They have to be like, wait, hold on. It shouldn't be this way, but I could be wrong.
You are way more hopeful than I complete hope,
Now, just those Project Veritas photos, which of course we wouldn't see without that, because they're not letting any press go down to the border. AOC is not going down there to cry and just, oh my God, you guys. it's way worse than the photos they had for Trump, even though most of those photos were from Obama too. So they didn't like the optics of kids in cages, so they wanted to take away that phrase. So we replaced it with kids in plexiglass, which of course is going to get
migrant
gross
facilities.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to get grosser in there. But then you also see them people with the those are like the special blankets they give you in like emergency kits to trap warm air in there, and people are pulling those over their head, which tells you that it's actually freezing in there at night. And then I think the capacity is supposed to be like 200 per thing, and it's at like 376 or something like that. I could have it a little bit wrong, but they're way over capacity in these like trailers that they built for this.
And what about
So it's really.
I mean,
what about the what?
What about the virus, right? I mean, for the past year, we've been told that you can't even go see your family member.
Well, they claim that they've all been tested at the border. I don't believe that at all. And that they're keeping proper distancing with everything at the facility. Impossible. Impossible.
Did you guys see? I guess Biden awarded a hotel like an $86 million contract to house like about 1,000 immigrants.
I did.
No, I did not see that.
I saw that, and then I think I saw our buddy from a competing program down there at the actual hotel, at one of the hotels. So, and I just saw that a couple hours ago. He actually went to one of the hotels right on the border and is doing the
here it is right here.
Investigative work. So,
yeah.
From Fox, Biden administration awards. ICE 80. I thought we were disbanding and canceling ICE. Whatever happened to that? Oh, right, we need them. Biden awards ICE $86 million contract to secure hotel rooms for illegal families. Is there anything else interesting in there? 1,239 beds and other necessary services. The family will have a conference. Why would you need to do that, Joe Biden, if you're giving $700 million back to El Salvador or whomever it is, because it helps them in their country? Shouldn't they just stop coming? None of it makes any sense. And I don't even know how much more we can. Do you guys have any more points about this? Because it's so stupid.
Well, is it just like a money laundering scam? I don't even know what to make of it at this point.
It's got to be, man. It like you said, it's stupid. Like, I don't know. It makes no sense to me. What type of country has this type of retarded immigration policy?
Well, you should see it up in Canada. We have the COVID hotels that are contracted to Chinese-owned hotels. So we got that. We got the beat up here.
The biggest winner of COVID was China, man. I swear.
You can't say that. That's why we have the war. Yankee Pollock, who I work with, so he's being very nice and giving me $2, which I'll get $1.40 of. Super sticker. An open eye with the word sneak peek. So I guess I'm reading what it actually looks like. So people are seeing an eyeball with sneak peek on it. That's how
I'm wondering about that too. All right, so it's like maybe an emoji or something. Okay.
All right, let's get to some dirt. The real reason why you guys are here are for race relations. So this is from D.L. Hewley, Eric. He's a really old comedian. I've never watched his stuff.
Yeah,
but
he used to be kind of funny way back in the day, I think.
Yeah, like early 2000s. I think he was on TV. I'm pretty sure he had his own show.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, the D.L. Hewley show. Yeah. It's no Bernie Mac show.
No, definitely not.
So you said exactly. It's no Bernie Mac show. America, etc.
Okay. I got you. R.I.P.
Okay. Listen, a lot of Andrew Says' youth was watching BET late night comedy, you guys. I'll have you know.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I guess this is a woman who's been in several videos. You can talk about it after, Eric. You said you've met this woman. She's got biracial kids.
Yeah.
And she's becoming like South Park, the N-word lady. So let's take a look at this.
She got medical problem. You don't have to serve if you don't want to.
Of course, it's Sean King.
You can't even see how I'm looking at you, sir. I have sunglasses on. You can't even see how I'm looking at you. I have sunglasses on.
Together, I guess.
You just said I don't look at you like that. How do you see how I'm looking at you?
Excuse me, can you just serve? If you don't want to serve her, let you go. If you want to serve her, serve her. If not, let you go.
Take her out.
Okay, ma'am, hello, ma'am. He's not going to serve you, so please leave.
Why? Because he's a bitch ass nigger?
No, excuse
me.
me. Hello, now you need to go.
That's what he is.
Excuse me,
bitch
ma'am.
ass,
Hello, ma'am, you need to go.
You heard it.
Let me call a cop because this might have been.
I said it. You heard it.
It doesn't affect me that you're not going to serve me because you're a bitch.
Are you just calling him a nigger? That's what you just
call him
said?
a bitch. I can call him whatever I want.
Oh my god. Initial reactions, you guys.
That shit was great, bro. And then she doubled down and called him a bitch. Like,
So, yeah, she's got some obviously some mad cojones on her, and I don't know. Does she just hang around with people? Like, she's got black kids. What are the rules here, Eric?
Well, there are no rules, right? Look.
No, there is a rule. There's a rule. The one rule is if you're a leftist, you don't get canceled. So,
okay, you got me there. You are totally right.
So you've met her?
We crossed paths at like a protest. And she has 3 Instagram accounts. She's not locked. She hasn't locked any of them. She hasn't turned off the comments. There's thousands of comments on all 3 of them. And look,
that's dedication.
Yeah, and it's not a nice thing for her to say, right? Okay, it's not a nice thing for her to say. But what gets me is the complete and total meltdown. They were angry about the mask, and then as soon as she says one word, they don't even care about the mask anymore. They're like, we're gonna call the police. And it's like, what are you gonna tell an NYPD officer who's dealing with shootings and stabbings and bugs, jerking off on the train and all sorts of things? They're gonna call the New York Police Department and tell them that a white lady without a mask and 4 half-black kids just dropped an M-bomb while she was trying to buy some bagels, and that's worthy of the NYPD's time. The meltdown is very extreme, and all these left-wing celebrities, they're pushing. I mean, this is like day 2 or 3 of this. They keep posting videos of her, and the thing that really makes me angry is just the fact that they are obviously going to use this to smear every single Trump supporter as a racist again.
Yeah, because Jay, there's a video of her in a Trump hat, somewhere downtown New York, saying it as well. So what's your?
Oh, she said it in the hat. Fuck, that's such a terrible.
Bad optics.
I didn't see that video. For the record, I didn't see that one. But
what would you? I'll find it. Jay, you tell us what would you say to this lady?
I don't like if I was in the other guy's shoes.
If you were just standing there, how about if you were witnessing this?
Oh, if I was witnessing that, I'd probably gang up on her. For sure.
Okay, I've got we won't be able to hear the audio on this one, but I think I can get us the gist of it. Well, it's the same lady. Okay, yeah, we got her here. She's in a hat, and so if you're into BLM, this is him quoting her. If you're into BLM, why don't you go F black guys? This was after she asked, how many black guys have you F'd? I don't even know why I'm centering myself. I just want to be I want to be marketable, you guys. This is the same racist-ass woman who called a hardworking black man a bitch-ass N-word in front of her half-black children, this time in a MAGA hat. So, yeah, I watched this earlier. She's saying... how many don't you support Black Lives Matter? How many black guys you slept with? I'm guessing it's a white woman on the other side, but I don't know. But when did DL Hughley become like the black Michael Rappaport? Why is he just like reporting on like hate crimes? He's retweeting Sean King, of course.
I feel like he kind of made the switch recently. Like I remember seeing him on CNN, like probably like towards sometime in the Trump administration, but he's been trying to be in his little activist bag lately.
Yeah, he's gotten really annoying. And I follow him, so he's the first person that I saw the story on. Of course, it's been reposted a million times since. But of course, he reposted it from Sean King, but I can't watch Sean King because he blocked me.
Nice.
Why? Do you know why?
I don't exactly remember why Sean King blocked me. I do remember why Maj Toure, Black Guns Matter, he blocked me, and he should unblock me. He should unblock me. I wanted to have a conversation with him. It was a joke. It was a joke I made, but neither here nor there.
Is that the Blaze TV guy, I think?
He's the Black Guns Matter guy, and I made a joke that basically the Democratic Party was working on him. He was like, at one point, he was like smearing Republicans, and I was just kind of like, oh, well, the Democratic Party, like their system of chaos has worked on you, and he blocked me. anyways,
Ah,
D.L. Hughley though has been just a proprietor, like a a nucleus of fake news. I mean, this guy is such a race baiter, and he's old now. It's like, dude, you're already, you had a TV show, you're already rich, you go on television. Why are you now? It's kind of like in the same realm as like, Kaepernick or Jay-Z, where these guys are literal millionaires pointing the finger outward and saying that that person is going to stop you. And it's like, dude, you
right.
are
Talking about oppression, I want to be an oppressed millionaire. Shit.
exactly, bro. So I don't understand it. I mean, clearly he's got some sort of relationship, sort of in the realm of like Charlemagne the God, where I swear one time I saw Kamala Harris leave the Breakfast Club and a huge envelope on the table. Like this is a mess that we have here. But
Jay, you got any high profile blocks we should know about?
Marianne Williamson blocked me.
that's one.
I was pretty sad about that one too, because I actually like her. I like her little spirit and her energy. But I was just
Very
trolling
nice of
her.
you.
She kept saying dumb stuff, and I think she just had enough, and she was tired of seeing my face in her mentions.
I'll tell you something. One of my coworkers, I won't tell you who. Oh, I think I can. He's the head of video where I work, and he's a big fan of your Twitter just because you have zero filter. So maybe that's why Marianne isn't a big fan of you.
Yeah, might be.
A block I'd like to mention is Ali Alexander, that weird looking guy.
He had me blocked for like 3 years, and then he unblocked me like right before he got suspended, which was the weirdest thing.
He blocked me because I made fun of that page that he runs called Culture with 3 T's. Because they never, when they started, they never credited anybody's videos, and I was like, "You're just straight up ripping people's videos. This is lame."
And adding the little culture watermark in the middle.
That's right. It's like, oh no, we're helping you. This I swear it's so funny when people take my videos and repost them, and they tag me. I'm like, thanks for tagging me, so you can get to take it down. One guy took my watermark off, put his over top of it, and I was like, take it down. And he's like, why, bro? I'm just spreading your message.
To some people, bro. So I saw the same thing happen to James Klug. We're out in DC. We went from marching down Constitution Ave to get back to the hotel, and his footage was already on Fox News with somebody else's watermark on it, and we watched it like frame by frame because it could have just been somebody that was close to us or whatever, but we watched it frame by frame, bro. We slowed it down. It was totally his. But
you went first 48 on him.
Don Lemon blocked me as well. So
wow,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, I made a whole diss song for this fool, and he hasn't blocked me. Incredible.
That'd be too weak of him. What if he makes one back? I'm surprised we saw Cuomo's nipple rings on TV before Don Lemon's. Does he not have them, or was that just his ear he was getting pierced on New Year's Eve?
Definitely got both. He pierced his titty on New Year's Eve, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
Okay, I think we have to let Jay go, but we can promote his store here first. You got some merch. I'm gonna need a discount code.
I got you, bro. I got you.
I want the hoodie or the t-shirt. I'm a hoodie guy.
All right.
So you got
t-shirt for sure.
Do you have new stuff coming? Did you say?
No, that's it. That hasn't dropped yet, technically. So whoever's watching it right now, the first preview ever. That's
what it was. Okay, so yeah, you guys haven't seen this. Should I tell them the URL? They can see it anyway. It's okay. PatriotJ.com, PatriotJ2024.com/store. Tell them Andrew sent you in the notes. I don't know. That's not on a store. it's like Uber Eats. You leave a note. It's like, yeah, I like this. Oh no. Okay, Jay, we'll say goodbye to you, and then we're going to talk about Boston, I think.
It's been real. Thank you so much for having me. Would love to do it on again. Next time I'll come in for the full.
All right. All right, we'll take it easy. You got any last words? Tell the audience right now.
Worship God, go to church, read your Bible, and follow me on Twitter.
Awesome.
The 4 commandments. Okay, see you later, man. All right, so you wanted to talk about some lady who's being praised for her race, of course. In Boston, it is.
Yeah, well, it was just a little strange because I just saw the headline, oh, Boston gets its first black female mayor. And so
Okay.
I just did a quick duck duck go search, and the first like 10 stories, the first 10 or 15 stories are just the same exact thing. And I was just wondering, can we find out anything about her? I mean, do we know one policy
She's a
position?
former education advocate, so former unemployed person who endured Boston's busing era as a child and was a single mother, was sworn in Wednesday the city's first black and woman mayor. The historic ascension arrived on the heels of former Mayor Marty Walsh's resignation to become the U.S. Secretary of Labor, previously only held by white men.
Okay,
Today's
wait.
a new day.
Yes, this is the one. There's a couple, it's a short article, but that's the one. Today is a new day. I stand with ICE. What did she say? I stand before you as the first woman and first black mayor of Boston, the city that I love. Okay. All right. Now, there's one part where they basically tell you that, and maybe I'm reading too much into it, but they basically tell you that they've leveraged COVID-19 to get this woman a new job, and now they're basically going to be communists. That's kind of how I read it. That's with my they live glasses on.
I only saw that movie for the first time like 3 months ago.
I will.
Um,
Okay, where is it?
it's got to be in this paragraph here.
No, it's super short. It's
As Boston, the county at large, continued to face the health and financial hardships, Janie pledged to work federal, state, and local officials to increase testing and vaccination across the city. So that was her positioning. Our recovery must include working together on behalf of our children, the children, and the vaccines. I've worked for over 20 years to increase equity, of course, not a good thing, and excellence in education for all students in Boston public schools. Too many of our kids are hurt by an opportunity and achievement gap. So race, COVID, race, vaccine, race, all the best stuff that you want. And she wasn't in politics at all. Now, as far as I've ever heard, I've never been to Boston, but it's a very segregated city. So you'd have to assume, if this is the first black mayor they've had, that a lot of white people came out to vote for her, would you not?
well, I think there's some sort of like special situation where she's like interim mayor or something like that.
I'll try to look this up. Boston mayor results, election
Because it
results.
shouldn't. I mean, I've never been to Boston either, but I don't think it's in like an election cycle. I think something happened, somebody resigned, somebody maybe died.
Okay, I got it here. We've got entering 2021, the incumbent mayor Marty Walsh, that's a good name. Know nothing about him though. Was eligible to seek a third term, but resigned as mayor upon his confirmation. Okay, so that's what I was reading before. It wasn't registering me. He became the Secretary of Labor for Biden, and so basically all that came up.
Okay, so it kind of makes sense though. So this guy got plucked to go work for the Biden administration, and naturally they have to bring a identity politics super stack in to fill his place because that's the Biden agenda. So they take this guy who's probably a commie. Again, I don't know too much about Boston. Probably an awful guy. I mean, he's got to be pretty bad to go work for the Biden administration. Get him and then replace him with a identity politics super stack who may or may not be good at the job at all.
So it looks like she didn't even officially declare for mayor at first. She was a city council member. They had this guy, what's his name? John Barros, Michael Bianchi, and Andrea Campbell, Dan DePelteau, a nice Frenchman, my people. Anissa Asabi George, John Santiago, and Michelle Wu. Very diverse of everybody. And that says down here, I just saw it, potential, Kim Janey, Boston councilor since January 2020. So she's been a city councilor for 1 year, and now is acting mayor.
For 2 days.
So how does that happen?
Well, all things are possible as a Democrat, right? I mean,
there's got to be an explanation in here somewhere. Elimination of potential special election. He was expected to resign. Normally determined the city would require a special election. Boston City Charter requires that a special election be held for the office of mayor when a vacancy occurs within 16 months. Okay. Propose that the city charter requirement for a special election be overridden. They got approval from the state. So did they? The city council approved a home rule petition which would dispense with the special election. It was subsequently signed by Mayor Walsh. Petition next required approval from the state legislature and governor. It passed and was signed by Governor Charlie Baker, thus eliminating the need for a special election if Walsh vacated his office before March 5th. So it sounds to me, although he was still in office through that date with his confirmation pending, Walsh ultimately resigned as mayor. So it sounds to me, Eric, that they signed him to the Biden administration before his time was up so that they could just eliminate the need for an election and then appoint somebody as mayor, and she wasn't even one of the top candidates.
Exactly. So, like I said, anything.
That's nuts. Oh, we just dropped him somehow. Okay, he's back. Don't worry. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, it sounds completely crooked, but that's how you know, right? Look, I obviously, first of all, we got to take everything on Wikipedia with a grain of salt. But secondly, that's how you know things aren't all on the level, right? That's why for 10 to 15 articles on DuckDuckGo, it just says black woman, black woman, black woman, black woman. So they just beat you silly with that, and you don't even care to think about A, if she's good at the job, B, why she got, none of it makes sense, but it's par for the course for a corrupt administration, a corrupt entire federal government from the top down.
Okay, in that article we were referencing, it says the ascension arrived on the heels of him. They placed Janey, the District 7 city councilor, as acting mayor. So yeah, they just said, we like this person the most. The governor, and let's be honest, probably the whole Democratic Party. She wasn't even on the list of declared candidates. They just said to a 1-year running city councilor, would you like to be mayor of Boston and run with all of our platforms, which is what it sounds like, a progressive platform. That's nuts. I've never heard of anything like that before. And you're right. Nobody, I'm glad that it's actually here. It's in the second paragraph, but it doesn't really get into any of that. It just goes into all the stuff we read before. That's crazy. I would imagine most people don't have any idea that happened.
It's absolutely insane. I'm looking at the article here because there was one really scary sentence to me where it basically, look, we already went through it. There's no need to beat the dead horse. As we saw, right? They installed this woman in a very similar fashion as to how they installed Biden, basically. And then they just talk about the virus and race and nothing else.
It's weird. Okay, let's get into some even crazier stuff, because the stuff hits very close to home for me, Eric. I think I messaged you yesterday or the day before about some numerology stuff that I've sent it to you before from certain people about these people that are now trying to solve all of political happenings with numerology. And it's even my boss was telling me about it. He's like, oh, you don't know about that? It's because numbers in Hebrew are letters or something like that. So they think that by adding a value to all the words, I can't even explain it. So basically what ends up happening, here's an example of it. So here's something from the Rebel News Store. And because Rebel Store and the World Rebellion both equal the word 47, I guess that's supposed to be. And they just pull a random words here. Free Adam Skelly, 56, mind control 56, coronavirus 56. So something you'll notice in all this stuff is they just take certain phrases to make sure that these numbers fit with one another. Another one I saw was assault gun ban, and it equals the same thing as this other thing, the same value. But what if you called it assault weapons ban or something else? They just pick and choose these words that will come out with the same value, and it doesn't even have to. If it's 54 and 45, then that means something. If it's 3 numbers in a row, then that means something. So I had sent you this before, everybody. I'd sent this to Eric before. And I was like, look at this stuff. It's hilarious. But only until recently did it start becoming that Andrew says is involved with these psyops. So this guy, if you don't know from Canada, you might not remember, they sent literally police on horseback after his to his restaurant for opening when he's supposed to be closed because of the C word virus. I think we've already said it, so we're screwed anyways. So apparently that was a psyop. Me interviewing Chris Sky, psyop. Apparently our store, psyop. A hoodie, psyop. And now the stuff this thing is tagged care to explain rebel news.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm posting this here as my account. Okay, go ahead.
Wait, no, I just have to ask you. That's like, I guess you're kind of getting to my question is, so what are they trying to prove? Like, so I'm just, what am I missing here? So they're saying that you are the controlled opposition, and so
yes,
so you're part of the lockdown. I mean,
so we're controlled opposition where we're only feeding information that we want to be fed to people. As I'm sitting here in the spare room in my house, I guess.
yeah.
And the funny thing is, it's like let's take this sweater for example. This sweater was come up with in a board like a meeting. It wasn't, and I was like, this seems good. And we didn't get an email from Alex Jones.
Oh yeah. So that's another thing. Alex Jones is also controlled opposition.
Yeah, so I like to post comments about that. Yes, we are controlled by Alex Jones. He actually sends me my guests for my show.
Where does it stop though? So who? I mean, am I controlled opposition as well? Like, where it's just if you reach a certain level of success, that's it. And it doesn't even, you don't even have to be, I mean, no shade, but like, you don't have to be up there on the moon, you know, the most famous journalist on the planet to be considered controlled opposition. Like, so where is the line? Like, you know, these people on Instagram or Twitter or whatever who are, you know, calculating these numbers with the hoodie and Chris Sky and all this. I mean, okay, so Chris Sky has what, 100,000 followers or something, so that's controlled. But if you only have 10,000, then you could still be legit. Like, what?
I think it's because of who I work for, so I guess it's got to be FBI, CIA, Mossad, something. And it's just funny because so many of these things that these people point to, I don't know what like I can just read what he said. I'm posting this here because I thought people should see the lies being played by our team. Don't focus on the ciphers or the numbers, only that they're perfect. All perfect matches. When you purposely look for words to match, you're going to find them. What's the movie with Jim Carrey? The number 23 or 24?
I never saw it.
Oh, it's basically the same thing. He figures out that everything in the world that's important has the value of 24, and he goes insane. Before he went crazy in real life. Shout out Jim Carrey. Shout out to this guy saying big ups from Toronto. We like that. Okay, no, you gotta pay. You gotta pay if you want it on screen. Sorry, shouldn't have done that. But yeah, so once this one started being about me, I mean, this is stuff like it's like when somebody said that Avi Yemeni in Australia being arrested was planned, and I'm just like, so you're mean to tell me the events girl sitting down the hallway for me planned an international fake arrest?
Like, and to what end? To what end?
Because I guess it would have to be because, and I'm giving away the secret here, obviously, that we actually don't want the lockdowns to end. We're fighting people's fines because we want to keep it going. I don't know. There's never any. It says controlled opposition by the cabal and deep state. They control both sides of the war. That's why we always win. So I don't know what to tell you. The most obvious answer is usually the correct one. I don't know.
No, that's called something. I don't know. It's not gonna
something law.
Yeah. I don't know what to make of that stuff, bro. It's just like I get it. I can understand how, you know, everything that we've been fed seems fake, right? So, you know, the news is fake and science is fake and history is fake and all this stuff. So of course you're gonna be skeptical, like I said, but there comes a point where, I mean, I mean, how far do you really take it? Like are these people gonna go home and like blame the cat that's sitting on, like, I mean, where does it just, at that rate it never ends, and you sort of just become a complete delusional. It's kind of, it's just like you've gone so far that you're almost just on the left now, right? Like, are the
Well,
Russians in the room with us right now?
well, the thing is like if you want to take it a different way, it's like a lot of these people, and you can say this about the most hardcore of Q people, even when there's some truth to it, you still get emails from people as if they have some sort of unique internet access to information that nobody else has access to. It's like you are plugging words into a thing that calculates their numerical value based on what you've given them, and all of a sudden you think you've cracked this code. Are you Tom Hanks? Like, I don't know why you think, like, people will send me something that I posted and it's just like, yeah, I know I have the internet. I may be busy during the day, but people still send me things. Like, I hope random person X has a job too. Hopefully it's not taken away, but like I do see things on the internet and there is no like the Q people didn't have a unique access to 4chan and 8chan that other people didn't have.
I mean, I don't know what to make of all of it. So I guess Rebel News can't be trusted. And speaking of, I noticed that there's been some other big demonetizations happening. I mean, this.
Yeah, I might as well show the website because we just they did the same thing they did to me. YouTube did to me like 3 years ago now, 2 years ago now, almost exactly 2 years ago, where they just email you out of the blue and it's like, oh, you have repeated violations and no more monetization. So as you can see here, it's embedded on Rumble now because we're basically shifting to Rumble, and you can see as we're talking about all that. So we had this meeting, and we're going to go on all these other things. And basically, YouTube, you not only did they say you can't, your shit isn't monetized anymore for 0 reasons, no examples. Same thing they did to me. We can't tell you which videos it is. They took away the ability to super chat. So so clearly it has nothing to do with like the content. Like, why can't we get people to donate money on a live stream? It doesn't make any sense. So hopefully Rumble comes up with that feature soon. There's other secret plans in the works, and they have nothing to do with numerology, or do they? But now, so basically, we're uploading everything to Rumble. I'm trying to put stuff on Rumble. Obviously, I don't get the same amount of views, but I think it's good. Rumble seems to have their head on their shoulders. The biggest channels, I would say, Dinesh D'Souza, Dan Bongino, and Trump Jr. 1.5 million people. I don't know where.
I watch Fletcher.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, he does the longer form videos on there, but it is weird. Weird is not the word. It's actually not weird at all. It's quite predictable. That I saw a couple of other, big YouTubers. I can't remember now. I should have screenshotted or something, but I mean, just in the last couple days with being hit with the demonetization. I mean, so clearly there's a coordinated effort to do another layer of, I mean, they took War Room off while they were streaming, Bannon got a little.
That'd be a hot clip.
But I don't know, man. And also the thing about Rumble, they're not built into the smart TV. I have my smart TV here. I could stream, I could cast, I should say, YouTube to that every weekend, but it's not the same as sitting on a laptop or even using like a whatever sort of USB thing to put it on the TV. So YouTube does have the ease. I mean, obviously they're 15, 20 years in the game now. I knew, and I knew I can pinpoint the moment that we weren't going to be able to handle YouTube. It was a little video called 2 Girls, 1 Cup, but that's when I knew that we as a people were not going to be able to handle the internet for much longer, and that was a long time ago. But that
was so shocking when it came out. I think I just had my mouth open the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, I vaguely remember this, and I only knew it because a couple of my
I graphically do.
They started working for YouTube, and it was actually their job early on. I was young, dude. They were like working for Google, working for YouTube many years ago, and they actually basically had a job pulling down pulling down like really graphic stuff and like flagging really graphic stuff. So I remember that from the beginning. It was absolutely disgusting, and I guess I could kind of see. I don't know what the point I'm trying to make here is, except for YouTube had a good run, and perhaps it's over. Ooh, I don't know.
Apparently, it was Brazilian. 2 girls, 1 cup.
Oh, really? I thought it was German. I just assumed it was a nasty German Scheiße, shit.
Their Wikipedia just goes into like the background of this Brazilian porno company. Impact, media recognition. I don't know. It's weird. It was referenced in British comedy series.
Right? That was what, 2007 or so? It was a long time ago.
Correct. January 5th, 2007. I like how it's oh my god. I'm just gonna say it and not or show it and not this is this is the video apparently it was from. All right, let's get off of there. Someone says, my man Patriot J on Rebel News, the world is crazy. Peace to the Hoteps. This isn't Rebel News. FYI. Dude on the right is deep in conspiracies. I mean, not really.
Me?
Steve Jansen. I guess you're the dude on the right, aren't you?
Yeah, I guess.
Yes, you are. Are you deep in conspiracies?
I dabble. I wouldn't say deep, but I dabble.
We all do. And so much stuff comes true. Okay. Is your book out yet?
Dude. So frustrating. As you can see,
he's in his hands.
Look, dude, I have 3 proofs here. 1, and then the second one without my name.
Yeah.
And then the 3rd one. But look, I'll shoot you straight. Some of these images are still far too grainy. And I don't know why, because it's not all of them. The front cover and the back cover are crystal clear. And I think it's perhaps the paper type that we're dealing with here. And it is becoming a little bit of a headache. And it will be ready soon, I promise you. I mean, don't think I forgot. Don't think it's not happening. It's still happening. It's just taking me a little bit longer than I thought it would. 260 full color, 8.5 by 11 pages of pure New York City decay. And I really want it to be perfect. So we're still working on it.
That's fair. You're like Eminem, but with the book. Every line has to be perfect. He's not Alex Jones. I don't know why I started doing that. My interview tomorrow is with Isabel Brown on rebelnews.com/Andrew_says. She's got a new book. Can we click on it? Can we get a copy? Basically, I called her female Will Witt in the interview, so don't worry, she's not gonna be mad about that. But she was cool. She has got these short videos that I really like called something seeds, freedom seeds, and they're like less than 2 minutes long. And I think they should be in school. They're in like schools. They're just teaching kids about like free speech, about gun rights and stuff. I mean, they're not explicitly teaching kids, but I think it would be good for kids, even though like when I talked to Will Witt, we talked about how, for example, Glad said that one of his videos was like hate speech or like violence or something.
Dude, the hate speech thing is just nice. The hate speech thing is just such a weasel word. And really quick, just because I am in South Dakota, I think it's very strange. Okay, maybe this here a little conspiratorial for you. And even we could possibly even tie this into the controlled opposition thing. Governor Kristi Noem, throughout the entire pandemic, stood strong, backbone of steel, no mask, everything's open, no mandates, do what you want, be safe, go about your life, music festivals out in Sturgis, everything open, no problem, make your own decisions. As soon as that's basically over, I mean, we all know it's over, it was overblown to begin with, but as soon as that's over, she immediately capitulates to the the transgender community and says that I have to allow these men to play in women's sports because the NCAA is gonna sue me and it just was very weird how she stood strong on every single weird medical thing, but somehow they still got to her, which is very strange.
Well, yeah, I saw her on Tucker, I think yesterday, the day before, and I would imagine, like, the NCAA makes people a lot of money. They probably said, we're not going to bring any tournaments there. We're not going to go up, show your shit on TV. So it's probably a combination of billions of dollars and pressure. Is my guess.
And Amazon too. I heard there was a little bit of pressure from Amazon, who actually, I believe, had already broken ground on a new facility, and they threatened to back out. So, you know, if they don't get you one way, they'll get you the other way, I guess.
All right, I think it's time we wrap it up. I'm hearing rain. Can you hear that? It's pouring rain now, apparently.
Oh, I thought, yeah, I heard it sounded like paper crackling or something, but I didn't know what that was.
That's pretty loud rain. All right, any final words?
No, that's pretty much it, man. Book coming soon. I feel like there's still a lot of stuff happening that we didn't even get to, but we got a whole nother week, so we'll see what happens before. I don't know. Usually we're doing this on Thursday, it's Wednesday, but whatever, man. That's pretty much it. Book coming soon. I did start a brand new Instagram account. It's completely apolitical. You can check that out. But yeah, that's it.
Do you want me to bring it up? What's it called?
It's called Apolitical Archives. I actually found my old blog spot and my old Flickr account from many years ago, well before Instagram was a thing. And those pictures that I was taking were actually still pretty good. So I just kind of, and it was a way for me to like express some like cool, interesting, artistic things, completely free from politics. No political leanings at all. Just old stuff that I used to do. It's brand new, started from scratch. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right. That's it from us, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Patriot J, for putting me onto this Canadian grifter. Yeah, that's what it is. That's some Hotep speech right there is what that guy is. I recognize the language now. I've been watching for long enough. All right, we'll hit you guys back up next week. We won't miss a week this time. Everybody send me money for my birthday this weekend. I'm turning 19, I swear.